Hey everyone, I do believe that should be me live. So how is everybody doing? It's lovely to be here with you all. It's been a long ass day, let me tell you. Um, Not really for any particular reason. Just work being work, but thank goodness tomorrow's Friday. Let's see, let's get that muted. There we go. I'm excited to be here tonight to see you all. So let's have a wee look and see who's here and what the chat is. Let's see, I've got the lovely Sandra. Mendy, hi Mendy and Sandra. We've got Simon. Jackie's here. Hi Jackie. Uh, Jamie Kelly. Hi Jamie, how are you? Orsi. Hi there Orsi, how are you doing? And I've got Zane from Tarot Token Zanery. And who else? Who else? Deanne from Blue Crescent Tarot's here. Hi Deanne. Luna Eclipse is here. Hi there. And Robin from Toadstool Tarot. Happy to be here to celebrate your belated birthday with you, and I've got Devil's Food Cake with chocolate frosting. Oh, well, I'm jealous. I don't have any cake, Robin. Lucky you. Neem's here. Hi, Neem. Cassie. Hi, Cassie. Sue's here. Hi, Sue. Just having a cheeky listen at work, so won't be chatting. Hope everyone is well. That's absolutely fine. I hope that work's going okay, Sue. I hope that you finish soon, or at least that your day's going in quick. Let's see, I saw something. So Mendy said our governor is making a COVID update address in an hour. So glad I bought toilet paper today. Has there been like toilet paper hoarding in your where you are, Mendy? Or does governor announcements just like make you need to go to the toilet? Or maybe both? Who knows? Um, Orsi says she can't mention because she's on her phone. Yeah. Do you know something? One of the things I don't have it to show because it's not like a kind of tarot thing, but um, I got a tablet for my birthday, right? And I was always under the impression that on a tablet you can tag, but on mine I can't seem to. Now, Simon, I know that I'm pretty sure that you've mentioned to me before that you can tag on your tablet, um, but yeah, I can't seem to. Are you using the YouTube app or are you using it on like an internet explorer thing, like Safari or something? 'Cause I don't know what your secret is. 'Cause I can't tag on my phone and I can't tag on my tablet. Um, Not that it's the biggest deal in the world, but it would just be nice to be able to tag people when I'm talking to them, you know? Um, Mendy says, "Not yet, but I just want to be prepared. They call our governor Lockdown Larry." Uh, oh, no, just on your MacBook? Oh, well, that makes me sad, but never mind, eh? Um, you can tag on the phone and tablet, you just need to type out the whole name. Yeah, I know, Mendy, but it does, yeah, I suppose. I can tag on mine, Chris. It's on YouTube app for me, right? Okay. Um, maybe it is that I just need to see when I'm thinking that because it's not predicting the name, when it comes up when you're on like a laptop or a PC, it comes up and predicts the names. That's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking that it's not doing that. Do you know what? Something's just occurred to me. Let me just check that I'm using the right microphone. Because yeah, we're good. Like I use my PC for Zoom. Like family Zoom on a Saturday, and if I'm zooming with friends, through the week, I'll use it. And I've got a different kind of combination because me and Sandy both do family Zoom, so I need to come off of this and I need to activate the whole shebang. Um, yeah, guys, it's highlighting. Mendy, it's highlighting. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I just thought that when it wasn't coming up predictive, that it wasn't highlighting for people. I don't know why I thought that. So no, Sandra and Mendy, you're both tagging. both coming up in orange, so we're all good. Um, has to be exact, so Hen would be a nightmare. Yeah, no, absolutely. And she's changed her name, and yet she's made it more difficult. What's that about, Hen? Get it sorted. Um, Neem says hello, host. Hi, Neem. It's lovely to see you here. Yeah, so I thought I'd pop on today. I'm going to show you some bits and bobs. I got some lovely things for my birthday. Um, Not all tarot decks. The first thing I'm going to show you is actually a book. So let me see. I like collecting fancy books. I've got like the complete works of Shakespeare up here. I've got the complete fiction of H.P. Lovecraft. I'm assuming that you can see this. It looks to me as though you can. Um, what else have I got? I've got ancient Egypt, myth and history. And then I've got like a bunch of kind of novels, tarot books and stuff like that. But I'd asked Sandy to get me this for my birthday. Um, the inspiration for it was actually the Tarot of the Divine, the one that's been brought out that's kind of inspired by different stories. Now, I know they're not all Grimm's Brothers stories, but it just made me want to kind of get, the actual Grimm's Brothers fairy tales. Because some of these are quite dark. I don't know if you know the Grimm's Brothers tales and stuff, but they're a lot darker than the Disney um, movies. Movies, yeah, films. The Disneys have been like kind of really kind of toned down. So I read Cinderella the other night, and there's like they're like cutting off their toes. See when the stepsisters are trying on the shoe, they're cutting off their toes, and one cuts off their big toe, and one slices off a bit of their heel to fit into the slipper. So they do. It's really quite dark, a lot of them. So yeah, I wanted to have a copy of it. So it's like lovely, like kind of, I don't know if it's leather or faux leather. It's all like kind of embossed. You can see the picture of the tree. It's all gold gilded, and it's got this lovely red ribbon. And that's it would help if I. There we go. Is that a bit better? um, so we get this kind of owl on the kind of inner page, and then also the contents and all the stories. So yeah, I'm kind of just picking stories at random and reading them. Loving it so far. So yeah, I thought I would look that up because I think I was saying, I can't remember where or when or why I was saying it, but I think like the more you know, when it comes to like tarot and not just tarot, but when it comes to this kind of stuff, divination, I think the more you know, the better. Because there's so much stuff that's taken from like literature, um, fairy tales, different meanings of different colors, chakras, you name it. Do you know what I mean? It might not be the kind of original inspiration for like the picture or whatever it is, but it's handy to kind of know these things because it really kind of feeds your intuition, I feel. So yeah, that was the book that I got. Now I've got 3 tarot decks to show you. The first one I had never seen nor heard of before. It's really unusual. Has anybody seen this? So I'm going to say Mibramig Magical Tarot. Mibramig being the name of the person who created it. It's a Rider-Waite Smith kind of inspired deck. Clone. I don't know if clone's the right word. I always forget. These are the backs. Now I'm going to. I will show the cards, but I'm going to kind of go through them quite quickly. So let me see what are the comments saying. In fact, I'd be as well flipping through these whilst I'm reading the comments, wouldn't I? So we've got the full there. So it's a low Scarabaeal deck. So it's just got the numbers on it. It doesn't have the titles. So this is the full, and it's this kind of weird, demented looking parrot type thing. There's probably a proper name for this bird, but it just looks like a strange parrot to me with a big flower on his head. got the magicians, this elephant. Hoping you can all see this, okay. High Priestess. The Empress. Is that a giraffe? Giraffe wearing a dress. Simon bought this deck in Scotland, no way. What are the chances of that? The Emperor, the Walrus, the Hierophant, the Lovers. See, it's like the body of people, bodies of people, and the heads of animals. It's just bizarre. Like, I'll love it, I'll cherish it forever because, you know, Sandy got it for me, but it's a really bizarre looking deck, isn't it? Let's kind of flip through these a bit faster. When I get to the minors, I'll do all 4 suits at once so that we can fire through them quite quickly. If anyone wants to see a particular card again, then just shout out, tag me, capital letters. These are right in front of my eyesight here, so God, the cards are dead slidey. The Edinburgh, a witchy shop when you visited the lane. Strange. It looks kind of like a cat, but with the body of a person again, doesn't it? Do you know, Mendy just said it's almost like a dark version of the Tarot of the Magical Forest. That's exactly what I said to Sandy. Not that that meant anything to him because he doesn't know Tarot of the Magical Forest, but those were my thoughts exactly. So do you use this one much, Simon? Is this one that you kind of use every now and then, or Sun? Judgment's quite nice. I like this. Mind you, again, you've got some bare bums down here. And then the World. It's odd. Why is the cups first? Never get the cups first. Or maybe I've just not. Oh yeah, I never shuffled this one, so it'll just be in the order that it came in. So we've got the cups. I'm going to try and have this so that they're all on the screen at once. Pentacles. And they're kind of, the skies are colour coded as well, which is nice. And then swords. So the aces, they look like a combination of Deviant Moon mixed with the Magical Forest. Mendy, you took the words out of my mouth. Yeah, not as often as you should. So do you quite like this one, Simon? Is this one that you know that appealed to you? I don't think it's one I would ever have bought for myself, but I love that I have it. So aces, we've got our twos. So you can see they've just got the kind of number and a kind of symbol for the suit up here. And as I say, all very much Rider-Waite Smith. Threes. Fours. That's quite good. What's that? It looks like he's got a banana on his head, doesn't it? Fives. Sixes. Oh, I've got an itchy eye. Jeez. We went to a pub straight after Chris to look through it. whilst I ate haggis and a Scottish dessert I've forgotten. I think what the Scottish dessert would be. Sounds oft. What's happening here? I like that there's characters in this. You don't often see that in an RWS 8 of Wands. Or she says, Haggis, you brave man. Oh no, she says, oh man, you are brave. A sad monkey. This wee guy doesn't look very happy, does he? And then your tens. So still get the tree of life and the 10 of coins there. So in the Ten of Swords, you don't actually see the blades don't look as though they're properly piercing this person, but there is like a pool of blood around them. Pages. The cards will still get that. Does anyone know what I mean when I say that kind of new low Scarabeo deck smell? My Egyptian decks have still got that kind of smell. I don't know how to describe it, to be honest. It's pages. So he's not just got a fish coming out of the cup, he's got one on his head as well. Zane's really digging it. So you're going to be getting it. Yay! I've influenced somebody. Well, I'm glad I showed it then, Zane. We've got a happy Queen of Swords. Like to see that. And the Kings. It comes awkward. It's a bit rough. Not got any nails, you see, so. There we go. Oh, I like this. Yeah, I seem to really like the pentacles suit in this, don't I? It either makes me laugh or like I quite like the images. So that is the Mibramig. Oh yeah, there's this card as well, the Happy Squirrel. And that is an actual extra card. It's not just like a kind of title card or something. It's got a meaning. And the book, in fact, let me have a look. It's just a little white book. I've not even bothered to look at the meanings for the normal cards, but let's have a look and see what the Happy Squirrel says. Let's find the bit where it's in English. Happy Squirrel. So the Mibramig Tarot has one peculiarity. In addition to the 22 major arcana and the 56 minor arcana of the traditional decks, it also has an extra card called the Happy Squirrel. This card is a sort of urban legend in the world of tarot, owing its existence to an episode of The Simpsons, Lisa's Wedding, Season 6, Episode 19. You may decide whether or not to use it, but it certainly adds a touch of irony to the reading. The card indicates that a sense of humour and self-criticism can work miracles, and that smiling and laughter are two excellent allies when facing both the small and large problems of life. It also emphasises, as was said during the episode of The Simpsons, that sometimes the cards are vague and mysterious. So there we go, that's the Happy Squirrel. So yeah, quite a peculiar. I'm not even going to try it. Quite a strange wee deck, but I could see myself kind of getting into it. So once again, that was the Mibramig Magical Tarot. It just says here artwork by Mibramig. So That is tarot deck numero uno. The second one that I got, so I got two. He gave me two to open up in the morning, and then like kind of afternoon time, he just came up to me with another present and says, "I was going to keep this for your Christmas, but I'm just giving it to you just now." And I'm glad he did because it was the Santa Muerte tarot. I've got it at the Santa Muerte tarot. Now, this is a really, really nice deck. Not only is it really nice, but I actually really appreciate the artwork and the meanings and the thought that's gone into the deck. I wouldn't call this a traditional standard Rider-Waite Smith clone. I would go so far as to say that some of it is really quite different from the Rider-Waite Smith. It's almost a system of its own. But I think that it's there are some similarities as well. Now, I would imagine that most of you have seen this, so I don't know. In fact, tell me what you want me to do. Do you want me to flip through it all, or do you want me just to kind of maybe show off some cards? Let me know, and we'll see what I'll do. Whilst I'm doing that, I'll just do a quick. So am I going to close? No, that's actually okay, isn't it? So, because it's easier for me just to do that. Whoops! Oh dear, I'm hitting the. Oh, sorry, guys. Dizzy. I'm going to watch for that because I don't want to. Jamie wants to see it. So Simon, you struggle to connect with it. I would imagine it is one of those decks, that you either love it or you hate it. I just appreciate that the minors are a bit different. I think it's not just your typical Rider-Waite Smith minor kind of images. The half borders? I thought it would annoy me. So this is never a deck that I would have picked out for myself simply because of that. But in actual fact, I'm kind of enjoying it. They don't actually bother me as much as what I thought they would. Move my stupid thumb out of the way. Justice. So I like this for the Hanged Man. I know it's unusual. We normally expect to see the Hanged Man upside down, but the idea is that you're pushing your body to the limits. You're taking a different point of view, and I mean separating your head from your body so that you can see higher up and further. That to me still says the same thing. You're still taking that different point of view. And he is still hanging, so yeah, I'm quite enjoying that. Santa Muerte for death, temperance, Tao. Is this one of these mariachi bands you've got down the bottom here? The tower I really, really like. This idea of everything being distorted. Because when you look at that, let me see if I can get that. When you look at it, like the stairs are going everywhere, it's like an optical illusion. And that's tower energy, when it kind of turns your world upside down, inside out, higgledy piggledy, star, the moon. Look at that moon. I love that. Sun. Judgment. In the world. I love all the kind of coloured skulls here. So those are the majors. I'll do the same thing again with the minors here. Hi, Sage Advice Tarot. I've just seen you pop in there. And Jax, I don't think I said hi to you, did I? You popped in and said hi, but I don't think I actually kind of picked up on it. Zane and Sandra are on the same wavelength today. So look at the ones. We've got, oops. See, this is the only thing that does my head in about these laminated cards is they kind of like to slide about. Swords. Oh no, that'll never do. That's all squinty. Let's see if we can conduct ourselves with a bit of decorum here. Hang on. Oh, for goodness sake. That's going to have to do. So Simon says that there's a Santa Muerte Oracle now as well. It's quite cool. So I really like this Two of Swords. To be honest, I need to kind of, there's some of the cards where I really want to kind of look up the meanings and look up the kind of inspiration for the image. The Two of Pentacles as well, you know, this idea of the kind of two, you know, the two halves coming together to make the butterfly. It's just stunning, so it is. Threes. Yeah, also likes the Two of Cups. See, we've kind of got this nod to the Rider-Waite-Smith, but again, it's still kind of different, isn't it? You definitely get the idea of growth coming through here in the Three of Pentacles. It doesn't so much give me the idea of the kind of, you know, collaborating, the working together, which is interesting. So again, that's another thing that I would need to look at. Fours. Love this. Look at this pentacle, the Four of Pentacles. Again, this doesn't bring to mind the traditional kind of idea of the Four of Pentacles, at least not for me. So I think maybe the Pentacles suit, you know, is one that I'm maybe going to have to look at and work with. I love this. Look at that. Sage advice is just done working for the day till you get home. Sixes. Again, the Pentacles just kind of takes us in another direction, doesn't it? As does the Cups. Look at that, 7 of Wands. You would think I'd never seen this deck before. I've actually flipped through it and I've used it a couple of times for readings, but I'm still kind of, I'm not totally familiar with all the images yet, so I'm still kind of getting a bit struck every time when I see a nice one. But I do love how the eights, the Eight of Swords and the Eight of Wands kind of, you know, there's a similarity there. Someone's added Santa Muerte to their wish list. Look at that Nine of Swords. How stunning is that? See, I like that you wouldn't necessarily have to read this as, you know, anxiety and the kind of negative connotations of high, you know, that high mental energy, that high intellectual energy. You could well see this as a positive card, you know, with the book in the hand, and I really, really like this. But I think the tens have got to be my favourite. Oh, Simon, Moth Alert. Tens have got to be my favourite in the whole deck. Especially that Ten of Swords. It's just amazing, so it is. So I've actually just realised that these are all, so you've got the head for the swords. See, you get the skulls here. You've got, I think that's the feet for earth, grounded. That looks like the rib cage for water. I take it that's because it contains the heart. And then is that like the pelvis for the wands? So that's only just struck me just now that that's what they are. Stunning. Everything about it's just stunning. So we've got our pages. Before I forget, by the way, guys, Lavender Moon, Amber at Lavender Moon is doing one of our paranormal interviews with Queen of Set from Hoya's Girl over on her channel at 10 o'clock. So I think, in fact, I might still have it copied. Let's see. Let me try and paste it here. Yes, I do. So I believe that should be a link to it. So, sorry, I've just saw Simon's comment. I believe that should be a link to the interview with Amber and Queen of Set. So anyone who wants to pop over at 10 o'clock, please do feel free. Chances are I'll still be rambling on, but obviously I won't be offended if you want to pop over, because if I wasn't doing this, then I would probably be watching it. I think that would be quite an interesting interview. Queens. I do love a good Queen of Wands. And our kings. What is that a moustache? So I need to look at that properly. I think it is. It's just a funny moustache. Mustachio question, but I'll shave it for later. Sorry, it had to be said. So that is the Santa Muerte tarot. And I think I'm really going to enjoy working with it. It's one of these ones, it might take me a while to kind of get into it, because I'm going to, as like I was saying, I'm going to have to properly, not start from scratch, but kind of do a bit of work really to properly understand it all. It's one of those ones, I suppose you can, any tarot deck, you can just jump in with your knowledge of whatever system you're used to working with. But to use it as it was intended, I think you would need to be looking up, a good few of the meanings and understanding how the images were achieved. Right, sorry, Simon, you said something. You said mod alert. Did you say? I didn't, and I'm not sure what it is now that I said when I said that. Sorry, I did see your comment when you said it, but I was distracted. Moth alert. Yeah, that's right. Sorry. uh, I thought you were hiding from the moth there. Sandra's definitely wanting this one. I feel as though the microphone's too close to my mouth. I can kind of hear my breath through the. So that must be unpleasant for you guys. Let's see. Just looking to see if there's any comments that I've missed whilst I've been doing that, but it doesn't look like any orange tagging. Oh, actually no, there is. So that was when you said about the Scottish dessert. Jane said, me too, Chris. Simon said, just checked. Haggis, neeps and tatties, but it was a starter called Cullen Skink, or that's what it sounds like. Yeah, you're right, that is. But do you know, Terrible Scotsman, but I can't remember what Cullen Skink is. Is it like a fish soup? Or have I made that up? If it's fish soup, then that'll explain why I can't remember, because I hate fish. Well, certainly fish soup. I can just about handle, like fish and chips, like battered cod and stuff. But I've just scrolled down and seen Elle's comment. She's just come in and said, "Oh, a hand." Yep, Elle, I got this hand for my birthday. It's very exciting. No, I'm joking. Although I could be doing my new hands for my birthday, to be honest. My hands are terrible with my skin. Anyway, I'm not going to show off my dry skin. So this is the last deck, and I'm glad that you've popped in for this, Elle, because I think you might appreciate this, if I've remembered correctly. So first of all, the box, it's like, I think this is what you guys refer to as this kind of rose petal effect, and it's like kind of got this kind of black glossy embossing on it. Round the side, it's gold embossing, and I don't know if you can see that. That might give you a bit of a clue as to what we have here. It's the back. So yeah, the box is just dreamy. It slides off really nicely. The cards are humongous. Get a Rider-Waite Smith out just for comparison purposes. So, Orsi's having to pop off. Bye bye. Mendy, I've got eczema, so I have, and in this cold weather, it kind of really plays up quite badly. So on the inside, it's got this kind of foam thing that the cards sit in. So these are the cards here, and here is a Rider-Waite Smith next to them. It's a really thick deck as well. This is the size comparison. In fact, you can't even get that in there. Hi, Justin. So this is a Pokemon themed tarot deck. I'm quite into the Pokemon games. I've played them every generation. I've got Sword and Shield, and Sandy does as well, and he's got all the kind of old retro Game Boy games, so he has. He's quite proud of his Pokemon collection. Makes me think of a rude meme that I can't really, in fact, I probably shouldn't even say. Anyway, never mind, moving swiftly on. So I'll go through these one by one. Now, my knowledge isn't 100%, but from the ones that I do recognise and the ones that I kind of know the story of the Pokemon, what I can say is that this is actually really well thought out. Like the particular Pokemon that they've chosen to use. So, for example, I think I'm going to forget them all again. Skeldeo? Is that its name? Whatever it is, its story is it's basically like it's really enthusiastic, and it basically wants to it aspires to be one of the kind of 3 Guardian Pokemon. I think this is Gen 5, if I remember rightly, Generation 5 Pokemon. It wants to kind of train up and become a fully fledged Guardian. So it's always dead enthusiastic, and it's always kind of going for things, and so I think it's a really appropriate choice for the full. We've got the Magician here, and it's kind of hard to see, but you've got Braixen, which is one of the kind of starter evolutions from Gen 6. And then you've got an Arbok, and you've got quite a lot going on here, to be honest. I suppose that's a nod to the kind of snake belt. And you've got, one of the ghost steel swords. It's going to take me ages, and I'm shaking the camera again. Sorry, guys. I'm getting all excited, and I'm punching the camera. Cresselia for the High Priestess. Milotic for the Empress. Napoleon as the Emperor. See, the borders are lovely, just the way it's done, and the cardstock, the feel of it, it's got a kind of plasticky feel. I'm not really clued up on different cardstocks and whatnot, but this has got a kind of plasticky feel, so it has. So this is Mega Evolved Ampharos. You've got the two Pikachu, the male and you've got the male Pikachu and the female Pikachu. You can tell by the tails. And I think that might be Togekiss. Lucario is the Chariot and your two Luxrays. Gardevoir and Entei. We've got Mewtwo as the Hermit. I really like that because obviously Mewtwo kind of after so Mewtwo is a clone. He's a clone Pokemon. He's cloned from Mew, and you know after he stops being an asshole, basically, he goes off soul searching. So it was a really kind of lovely choice for the Hermit, in my opinion. The Wheel of Fortune. So this is one of the Guardian Pokemon that I was talking about. That this one, I think I want to call it Keldeo. I think that's right, but someone can correct me if you know better than me. So this is one of the Guardians that it aspires to kind of be like. This for the Hanged Man was brilliant. So this is a Pokemon called Inkay. And it's so bizarre, it's the only one like this, but in order to evolve this Pokemon into its evolved form, which is Malamar, I think, you actually have to turn your Nintendo DS upside down when it levels up to the right level. So when it levels up, you need to turn it upside down, and that lets it evolve. So I thought that was an amazing choice for the Hanged Man. I'm showing how much of a geek I am now because of all my Pokemon knowledge. Got Yveltal for Death. Fairy One's Xerneas. Temperance. Houndoom for the Devil. A really nice choice, I thought. I think this might be a Mega Evolved Houndoom. Nidoking and Nidoqueen coming down from the tower here, and forget its name. Bottom. So for the Sun and the Moon, we've got Lunatone and Solrock, which again I really like. Got a shiny Altaria, the wee Swablu, and all the fossil Pokemon. So this is all the fossil Pokemon being called from the grave, which is essentially how it works. You know, that's what happens with fossil Pokemon. So again, another amazing choice. And we've got Mew for the world. So Mew is the one that I was saying that Mewtwo was cloned from. Let me see if I can find that again. So with the minors, I don't think I've really got the space to yeah, I've just seen your comment, Justin. We need to get a quality Star Wars deck. Yeah, that would be amazing. So it would. I don't think I've got the space to do the suits, so I'll just kind of fire through these quite quick and I won't talk so much about them. I'll see if I can catch myself up on the chat whilst I'm doing this. Jackie knows Pikachu and Jigglypuff. Simon asked, was it a game or a film? Both, Simon. So it's been kind of everything. I think it started out as a manga, like a kind of Japanese comic. It then went to the TV show, The Pokemon, which is still going, by the way. And the games, or maybe it went to games first, but we've got games, TV show, and then from the TV show they've made feature-length films. So I'm mainly into the games, to be honest. Injured Charizard. Fire-type Pokemon for the Wands Court. Pentacles. Sorry guys, I keep hitting that camera holder. Do you remember all of the accidents that were happening when Pokemon Go first came out? People not looking where they were walking or driving. See, I heard about that, Mendy, but I never actually ever witnessed anything, and I never saw any particular stories in the news, so I wasn't sure if it was a bit of an urban myth. But was it an actual thing, like all this stuff happening? So even if you don't like Pokemon, like, it is still a really kind of stunning deck. I think the pictures are really, for me anyway, they're really visually appealing. The only thing is it doesn't come with a guidebook. But I think you can look up the Pokemon that's on it. Well, I suppose no, you can't. You would need to know them. See, I think this really needs a decent guidebook. This deck that at least tells you what Pokemon are on each card, so that you can go and look them all up. And look up their stories and try and understand why they've been selected for that card. You've got some of the evolutions for the 3 cups here. Oops, sorry. Right, see, just now I might just take a wee pause to stick the banner on. So I will be doing some readings after this, guys, if anyone wants a reading. So pop your question in the chat for me, just tag me. It's probably the easiest way to do it. I'd say capitals, but I think sometimes that stops your question from being posted. So, and if the blue spanners mods, if you could just keep your eye out, and if there are any questions and I've blatantly missed it, then shout at me. Slowking for the King of Cups. Nine of Swords. Curlier. Got Braviary. Being stabbed for the 10 swords. Got Page. Oops. Knight. Queen. Sorry, have I been covering that up with my hand the whole time? And the King. So there we go. I don't even know what the proper name is for this, guys. I'm just calling it the Pokemon deck, but yeah, and that's what I got for my birthday. So I also kind of got some other bits and bobs. I got um, my white chocolate, Terry's chocolate orange. I got me another one of them for my birthday. And obviously my tablet. But yeah, I was really pleased. He'd put a lot of thought into the kind of decks that he got me, and I didn't know any of them. Like he hadn't consulted me on any, so boy, he did well. Oh no, I can't get this back in. That's a problem for later, Chris. I'll pop that there. Right, let's just swap these round for now, and I'll just go through the last few comments. So he went rogue and started collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Justin's calling us nerds. You're just jealous of my Pokemon collection, Justin. Not to mention adults were running around a few years ago catching virtual Pokemon. That still happens, Neem. That's still a thing. So it is. We used to go down to the waterside to catch decent Pokemon, so we did. I don't really play Pokemon Go anymore, muffin. I kind of lost interest in it quite quickly, but it was fun at the time. That's right. I think I've been here. So Mendy says, oh yeah, my girls work at Panera Bread, and they are one of those big hotspot areas with lots of characters. People coming all the time looking for Pokemon. Oh, Zane was excited to see Mew. Guy walked into a fountain. Where the car is. That's right, I've read that. Oh, someone says waiting for my favourite Pokemon now. Cassie. Like Cassie and Deanne. Did we did we get your favourite Pokemon then? Deanne was waiting for Cubone. Cassie says unless I missed it, I didn't have my favourite. What was your favourite, Cassie? Snorlax. No, I tell you what, I'll have another look through at some point, and if I find them, I'll post pictures on something on one of the Facebook groups. Simon says so. Even though I'm clueless about Pokemon, I quite like this deck. I kind of want it. Pokebox Taro just looked it up. So there you go. Sandra's managed to find it. Simon says I'm a broken Robin likes the idea of white chocolate, white orange flavoured chocolate Robin. It's very exciting indeed. My tea's gone cold as usual, guys. Everyone needs a hobby. Received a package from South America today, but I haven't opened it yet. That was Justin. Justin says, "Where the hell is my question? Where is my fairy tale tarot?" But was that a serious question to be read for, Justin, or are you just kidding? Because we've pulled cards for worse. Deanne says might need it. So yeah, I'm not sure where he got it from, to be honest with you. I know that somewhere's advertising it for like over 100, but I don't think it was that much, to be honest. So yeah, anyone that does want it, like, give me a shout and I'll find out where he got it for you. Obviously I'll check that I don't think it was like a knockoff or anything because it does feel really kind of luxurious and really well done. So fingers crossed. But yeah, so I think I'm at the bottom of the comments now. Oh yeah, you said dead serious, right? Okay, Justin. Oh, right. What deck are we going to use? Well, I use the Mypromig. Just means I need to shuffle it properly. So what's everybody up to this weekend? I am going live with our very own lovely Simon at the Hermit's Cave on Saturday. He is doing a catching up with, and it's featuring me. So if you can be bothered with, gosh, that'll be 3 lives this week because I did a wee cheeky impromptu one on Monday. So that'll be 3 times that you've had to put up with me this week. Cassie's packing her house up this weekend. Are you moving house, Cassie? Hi Sarah, how are you? Mendy, do you know, I don't think I'm actually going to use the Pokemon much, and even if I am, I'm not going to try it just now because the cards are massive and it would take me ages to get it adequately randomized. So yeah, like it's going to be an absolute bitch to shuffle. So I won't use that just now. Simon says he's looking forward to it. Yeah, so am I, Simon. I can't wait. Just be nice to kind of sit and have a kind of face-to-face chat with you, won't it? Because it's not something that we've done very many times. So yeah, I'm excited. Of course for the interview, but just for that as well. Should be good fun. We'll have my usual family quiz, I think, on Saturday. And yeah, I'm off for a couple of days this coming week. Next week I'm off. I'm always off on a Monday, but I'm off Tuesday and Wednesday as well when Sandy's off with me. So that's something exciting to look forward to. I always like, do you guys do this? So see when I riffle, I like to do it both ways. I like to do it face down and face up, just so that they don't all bend in one direction, you know? Just to keep it kind of, I don't know, just to kind of keep it equal, I think. Quite a nice riffle, that. I'll probably switch these around. So where is Justin's Fairy Tale Tarot? Sage Advice Tarot asking for a general after Justin, so we'll do that. Absolutely. So Justin, I think I'm just going to do a wee situation, advice, and outcome spread, and we'll see what the cards tell us. I doubt they're going to give me coordinates, GPS coordinates, but and if I start giving you GPS coordinates, then you know that, well, you can be pretty damn sure that I'm bullshitting you, can't you? But it'll be interesting to see what the cards say. Thank you, Simon. Has anyone seen the tarot deck called the Dark Weight Tarot? I saw it. I think it's kind of made in Russia, if I remember correctly. It's very Rider-Waite Smith, but the images are actually stunning. I think looking at them. In fact, I'm sure Sandra, have you done a walkthrough of it, or am I making that up? Right, Justin, I know you like to cut your cards, so do you know what? I'm going to do something different. I'm going to cut them here. It's not something I ever do, but just felt like doing it there. No worries, Sage Advice Tarot. Right, where is Justin's Fairy Tale Tarot? So, the Happy Squirrel. Amazing. What a card. Oh, I'm going to hold it up closer so you can see it. Look at her. She's batting her eyelids. She's kind of very. She's got her sexy face on, Justin. So we just read the the meaning on the in the book. Um, the message behind this is you're going to have a bit of a sense of humour and not take the situation too seriously. Justin, how long have you been waiting for it? Because I've got a feeling that you might be waiting a wee bit longer yet. So yeah, try and put it out your mind. Try and just kind of do your best to see the see the funny side, I guess. Don't expect to go out right now and find it waiting for you, or maybe that's the joke. Maybe it is outside waiting for you in your mailbox right now. In fact, after you're reading, Justin, do me a favour and jump out and check, just to humour me, because there is definitely there is, if it's that kind of if you don't laugh you'll cry type thing. That's what I'm getting for this. So what's the advice? Yeah, just keep going about your day as normal. Don't don't expect a big massive change, i.e. don't expect it to land on your lap anytime, in the next 5 minutes kind of thing. Keep going about your day as you normally would. Keep doing, your days when you work, keep doing that. Your reading, concentrate on your reading that you're doing. Which deck are you asking if I've done a walkthrough of? The Dark Weight Tarot, Sandra. The Dark Weight. It's one, if you look at it on eBay, you'll find a few copies of it. It's one that I think comes from Russia predominantly. I just really enjoy the images in it. So sorry, Justin, I wasn't finished with you there. That's the advice, is just kind of try and put it out your mind for now. Keep going about your day as normal. And the outcome, yeah, you might actually end up having to chase it up, Justin. You might as well do that now, to be totally honest with you. There's no point in waiting. If you're going to have to kind of chase them up, why don't you get on wherever you got it from? Can you email or phone them up, or can you get in touch and basically ask what's happening with it? If it's been since, did you say it was shipped on the 11th of October? So we're coming up for a month now. So by the looks of things, you're going to have to kind of, maybe just do a wee bit of back and forth. Just to kind of get to the bottom of what's happened with it. I mean, he's holding something in his hand, isn't he? So I'm hoping that, that's saying that eventually you're going to have it. But yeah, I feel as though you're going to have to chase it up. So do that just now if you can. And, let us know. But try not to get too pissed off about it, pal, because you look after that ticker of yours. I don't know why I said that. Right, I've got a question from Sage Advice Tarot, haven't I? We've got a general for November and December. So Sage Advice Tarot, when I do a general, I tend to pull a card for your strengths, pull a card for your weaknesses, and pull a card for any opportunities that you might have in the time period we're talking about. And then we kind of add the numbers up and see what kind of overall card or cards that we've got. No laughing matter, I'm sure. You don't have that one, Sandra, right? I'm talking out my arse then. Apologies. Just got a bit mixed up. Usually, like just wee quirky decks that I like, Sandra, there's a couple that I've seen that you've got a walkthrough of, like the I don't have it to hand, the Nefertari tarot, that golden kind of Egyptian one. That's a really nice one. I've got that, but I've seen you've done a walkthrough of it, and there was something else as well. She told me I wasn't the only one. I'll be fine. Just curious what the cards would say. So does that make sense, Justin, what I'd said? Lady said it's probably sitting in Philly because of the ballots mail. Oh. Hopefully you get it soon. Okay, so Sage Advice Tarot, strengths. Oof, the Tower. So as a strength, I'm taking it that's just dealing with the situation that is the Tower, dealing with a big change, which, it's not a strength that very much of us have, let me say. Quite often as human beings, we're kind of averse to change or to big change. And, the Tower it doesn't tend to be just like kind of changing from Cocoa Pops to Rice Krispies, breakfast cereals is what they are. I've just realised that's a UK reference, but you're not just changing breakfast cereals. This is usually a kind of change that's forced on you, and it's something that you can't really turn back from once you're on that path. So that you may well find yourself having a Tower moment over the next couple of months, Sage Advice Tarot. But given that it's in the strengths position, it looks as though you're going to be kind of well equipped to deal with it. So that's at least a wee bit of a positive message for you. Let's see what we've got for weaknesses. So maybe dealing with the emotional side of it may well be a bit of it. Sorry, we've got the Knight of Cups here, I should have said. Which is the knights are very kind of action orientated. Usually when a knight shows up, it's you're looking at doing something, taking action. And water cups, we're talking about things like relationships with friends, with partners, with family. We're talking about those emotional connections that we form with other people and their own selves. So yeah, it may well take its toll on. It could well be your more spiritual side. You might find yourself, if I don't know if you read tarot, well, given that your name's Sage Advice Tarot, I'd like to think you do. uh, you might find yourself having to kind of put the tarot to one side, or putting this spiritual stuff. Maybe just do less of it for the month. You might for the couple of months you might find yourself not so much picking up the deck and doing lots of readings and stuff. You never know. It could just be the lead up to Christmas. Christmas kind of throws us all for a bit of a loop, doesn't it? It kind of turns all of our worlds at least a wee bit upside down. Or at least when I say Christmas, I'm realise I'm being exclusive there to some people. This general festive period, I think we're all affected by to kind of one way or another. So you said you get it. You can adjust pretty well to difficult situations. You're not afraid of the Tower. Well, good for you. And then the opportunities. Oh, 10 of coins. Okay. So there's change. There's maybe a bit of difficulty, on the connection side, whether it's with people around about you or whether it's just with your spirituality. But coming in at the end there, we've got a 10, the 10 of coins no less. So that almost writes this. There's an opportunity to still maintain those connections and to still stay grounded in your spiritual practice. You just need to kind of recognize that opportunity and seize it. And I mean, let's just kind of look at the kind of basics. 10 of Pentacles, you might look at that as wealth. You might look at that as being quite affluent. You can also look at that as kind of passing gifts down from one person to another, maybe a bit of teaching. So there's quite a lot in the kind of opportunities department for you, which is quite good. I'm glad to say that. Let's add them all up and then see what we reduce down to. So we've got 16 for the Tower, 12 for the Knight of Cups, and 10. So 16 and 12 is 28, plus the 10 is 38. 8 and 3 is 11. In this deck, that's Justice. So, trust in the overall system. So there's obviously something's coming in. I suppose it's just about trusting that whatever change it is that's happening, it's happening for the better. Now, I know that the Justice card can be really quite negative for a lot of us because we kind of tend to, it gives us the idea of the justice systems that we have in our own current kind of modern day world. That's not really what the point of justice is. The idea of justice is like Lady Justice, it's the kind of perfect utopian kind of idea of justice. It's this idea of, everyone signs up to a system. You can think about it as like a contract in contract law. Everyone's basically agreeing to be part of a system. And when you sign up to a contract or when you're part of a kind of legal system, there's a set of rules that are in play. And as long as you stick by those rules, you're fine. If you break those rules, then there's consequences. Okay. And that's the basic idea of justice. It's being in this kind of system and knowing what you can do and what you can't do. And like I say, I know that it has negative connotations just because, you know, the problem obviously that we have is our human justice systems are governed by humans and humans aren't infallible. We are susceptible to corruption and all that kind of thing, and the higher up you go, the more tempting that kind of thing becomes. And I think that's why I think that's the kind of root of it all. But anyway, we're getting very philosophical. I'm kind of rambling on here about the justice system, and that's really not the point. So we've got this idea of kind of trusting the system that you're in, trusting that, as long as you're kind of understanding what the kind of rules of the system are, and as long as you stick to those rules, you should be fine. You can reduce justice even further to get down to 2, which is the high priestess. So really this kind of idea of going within, of gestation, kind of very feminine, passive, kind of inner type energy. So yeah, although we're saying, and I can see your comment there, over November and December, you're not going to have much time for your spiritual practice. You may well find yourself still being very much in your focus, even if it's an idea. I sound like Boris Johnson now. I'm just scrambling out random words. Let's just nip that one right in the bud. What am I trying to say? So even if it's from the point of view where you're like, it's like, I can't be spiritual, it's still going to be a theme for you. So whether it's that you're doing it enough or you're not doing it enough, it's still going to be something that's on your mind. So maybe, right now, before you proper get into it, Sage Advice Tarot, maybe put a wee plan in place. And maybe this is where justice comes in. Put a wee plan in place for yourself, like an hour a week, set aside however long, 10 minutes a day, where that's your 10 minutes that's blocked off, and you're just going to spend that kind of keeping in touch with yourself, meditating, do whatever's right for you, working with the tarot, meditating, dancing naked around the fireplace, whatever you so desire. Just make some time for yourself, and maybe then that'll just it'll ease it up in your mind. You won't be focusing on the kind of negative that you're not doing it so much. So yeah, that's what I see there. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. You can give me some feedback and let me know whether that was whether that made sense to you. Got Robin saying, let's see if I'm really psychic. I have a feeling I should run down to my mailbox and see if my blushing fool has arrived. Yeah, be right back. Well, now we're just all waiting to see Robin. Elle, of course you can. And from one procrastinator to another, I totally understand. I'm terrible for procrastinating. Oh gosh, you had the Emperor jump out at you there, Elle. I know that's not your favourite card. But again, like I said about justice, if we take the kind of Sage Advice Tarot, you're not sure about dancing naked around the fireplace. I know that was just a wee jokes. But hey, no judgment here for anyone who does like to dance naked around the fireplace. I would imagine it's quite exhilarating. So yeah, I was saying about the Emperor. So the Emperor, because of the kind of the problems that we have with, the systems in our country and, really in this world just now, the Emperor can have negative connotations and it can really put a lot of us off. I think if we try and kind of come away from that, the message of the Emperor, it's about, it's not about someone else being in control of you. It's about you being in control of, your own world. With the Emperor, it's a very kind of regimented control. It does ask you to kind of take a step back, look at the bigger picture, think about all of, like I said before, think of all the rules that need to be followed, think about any deadlines that need to be met. So that's kind of really quite applicable here. Really just make yourself a plan. Now I know that you're quite a visual person, Elle. I know you like, well, I think I've gathered from previous kind of just conversations that you like a good bit of stationery, you maybe like a wee bit of colour coding, that kind of thing. So just set yourself a plan, make a plan, write a kind of list, know when everything's due to be done. So if it's like, right, I need to do this amount of stuff and I need to do it by this time next week, then you've got 7 days. So the stuff that you've got to do, break it down into maybe 5 pieces, and then you leave yourself a bit of extra time at the end to kind of check over everything and make sure that everything's kind of everything's good. Sorry, I've not even properly pulled cards for you. That was just a jumper. But yeah, I'm glad you like the idea. Hopefully that kind of that helps a wee bit doing that. What will we do? Will we leave the Emperor? Let's leave him out. Let's just, I don't normally, again, this is something I don't normally do. I don't normally leave jumpers out, but I don't know, I feel like he wants to sit there for now. Oh, so I'm absolutely roasting here, guys, which is unusual for this time of year. Usually I'm freezing. So situation. So we've got the Eight of Wands. It's certainly not a negative card, but things are kind of moving at a quite a. Oh, here, hang on. That stupid table cam thing's in the way. Right, Emperor, you're going to have to move for now. You can go down there. Eight of Wands. So fast paced. Which, given the question that you've asked, I would imagine that is how you're finding yourself. It's that kind of way where you've got a deadline coming up. Maybe the panic's starting to set in. Now, what I would ask, Elle, are you someone who strives under pressure? So when you've got the pressure of a deadline looming, does that make you work better, or does that actually hinder you? Because you've got different types of people. Some people do that. That pressure is what activates their kind of fire. It lights that fire. Coming back to the card, Eight of Wands, Eight of Fire. So I'm seeing a lot of fire energy. So I know that you're saying you're a procrastinator, but the Eight of Wands is a very kind of stable card. It's basically all about having those foundations. It's about having that stability and then being able to kind of transcend from there, really being able to kind of get up and get moving and get going. Things are so the kind of foundations are so stable that it almost becomes the work starts doing itself. So that's telling me that you've perhaps done more than what you think you have. Okay, you're not in as bad a position as maybe what you're. Sometimes we have a tendency to be a bit negative and think, oh, I've got shitloads to do. I've done virtually nothing. I'm never going to get this done in time. Don't give in to those negative feelings. Because from what I can see here, the situation that you're in, there's a lot more fire than what you give yourself credit for. Now, the advice, interesting. So we've got the Nine of Swords, Elle. Now, the Nine of Swords, I think I said this earlier on when we looked at the Santa Muerte. Nine of Swords, essentially, we're in quite a high mental energy space, quite a high intellectual space. Your mind is basically running miles. Now, we can take that and use that to get the job done, to get shit done. Whenever I'm kind of doing a reading for my working day, if this shows up, I basically know that I've got two options. I can take this energy and use it to really power through my work. And believe you me, I've been able to do that before. So I know that you can do it as well. Because I know that you're a far more clever, intelligent person than what I am, Elle. And I'm not saying that just to be complimentary. I I know just from like kind of the stuff that I've seen you post on Facebook and how passionate I see you getting about things, I know that you've got the potential to make a lot more out of your situation than potentially what I could. So if I can take that energy and use that to drive me forward, then I know that you can. So yeah, advice, that's what we're talking about. So take that energy and use it in the best way you can. Now, obviously, on the flip side, if we don't kind of use that energy productively, it does have the potential to, you know, we start to get into our own heads, and that's when the kind of the stress and the anxiety and all those kind of negative associations with the Nine of Swords start coming in. So definitely really think about that energy, and when you start feeling yourself getting in that headspace, think about whether you can use it in a productive way. Um, and then the outcome, we've got the Knight of Cups showing up again. Now, the Knight of Cups is interesting because it showed up before now. So let's see, we've got the Knight of Cups. We're talking about being active. Again, it is a very active energy. There's the fire that's associated with the Knight. So again, I can see you kind of getting stuff done, but not just getting stuff done. We're also looking at forming connections. Now, uni applications, it's not just about filling out a bit of paper. It's about connecting with the person who's on the other side of that. You're going to send that off, and there's going to be someone at the other side who's reading that, and they have to kind of, in some way, form a connection with you. They need to kind of understand this connection from what you're putting on the form. So this would suggest that you've definitely got it in you to make that successful. We all love our Elle, don't we? And we all know that Elle is a very kind of down to earth, approachable, and easy to get on with person. If you can kind of take that aspect of yourself and put that across, then I can see this being a success for you. Okay. I'd really think this is your key, because this is where it could go one way or the other. Okay. So, and we had the Emperor overseeing it all. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing there, Elle. I hope that helps in some way. If there's anything, I've been to uni, and it's going to be different now than what it is back in my day. But if there's anything that I can do to help, you know, just let me know. If you think that I could help in any. What are you applying to do out of interest? But yeah, if I can help in any way, let me know. Right now, did I have any other questions that I've not that I've not dealt with yet? Jackie says lovable and driven. Yeah, it's a much more eloquent way of putting it than what I did, Jackie. But that's exactly what I was trying to say. Applying for nursing. Oh wow. Oh, that's amazing. That really is a calling, isn't it? It takes a really. I swear I'm not just saying all this just to kind of I'm not just brown nosing here, but it really does take a special kind of person to be able to kind of to want to do that kind of thing in the first place, and to kind of be able to do it. So the best of luck to you. And yeah, Naomi Hewitt, she's a nurse, isn't she? I'm sure we've got a few nurses in the community. So did anyone see if there was any other questions, or is there anyone sitting there with a question that they want read? Please make yourself known. Yeah, Elle will be an amazing nurse. Can totally see you doing night shifts, Elle. I think that you do night shifts right now, so why not when you're a nurse? I'm not seeing anyone asking a question. Why don't we? Me and Justin were doing this on. We were chatting on Zoom the other day. How the live I did on Monday, where I was pulling cards and just making up a wee story out of it. Why don't we? Why don't we do that? I'll pull 3 cards and see if we can make a wee story. Oh, someone's got a question. I'll do a wee story and then I'll answer your question. All right, Hen. Oh, Jackie too. Right. Right, let's do a quick story then. Oh, what's this? Strength. Okay. So there was once a woman. Her name was Jemima, and she was really good with animals. She loved her animals. She was one of these people who's got every animal under the sun. You name it, and she's got one. Um, and she always wanted to have a pet lion. Obviously, I would never condone having a pet lion in your house, but that's what Jemima wanted. It's all she wanted. It was her dream. Now, one day Jemima met Tom and fell in love instantly. But in her head, her mind was still kind of on the lion. She loved Tom, but she also wanted her lion still. And one day she got her lion, but it was a bit of a disaster. Like I said, one should never get a lion. And Jemima and Tom found themselves having to their home get torn apart, and they kind of had to run away to safety. It was a bit of a disaster and a bit of a mistake, but you know, she might have got her bum bitten a bit, but she never looked back. She did what she wanted. She got there in the end, and it was an experience for her. Robin's saying, "Have you tried this card story trick with your little niece?" No, Robin, I don't. I don't do cards with my niece because her mum and dad are. It's not really their thing, and I don't think it's my place to kind of do this kind of thing with her when they don't really. I don't really say they don't approve of it. I've not really talked to them about it, so that's probably really unfair of me to say. But um, our dad's a PhD in physics, and he's just a very kind of logical brain and thinks that this kind of stuff isn't. I don't think he would really like the idea of me doing this with a wee Ian, so I haven't. That was a random story, wasn't it? Sorry about that, guys. That went in a direction. So I've got a couple of questions. I've got Hen is saying, what's my best way to move forward with your 15-year-old hound or back off? Is Carol causing trouble again? I've got a question from Jackie as well. So we'll do a situation, do this, and don't do this, Hen. Sarah liked the story. It is quite fun. When me and Justin were doing it the other day, and we were basically like pulling cards one at a time and going back and forth. So I would pull a card, I would start the story off, then he would pull a card and he would kind of continue on the story, and then and it would just work like that. And it actually worked pretty well. I don't know if he's still here or if he's had to pop off. But yeah, it was good fun. Right. Can we just swap till the kid actually goes to school Monday, then you can send them back. You're here. So when you say won't go to school, do you mean like he's truanting? Like we we got see. I don't. Do you all know what playing truant from school means? It basically means not going to school when you should. Do you know what I mean? Quite often, if someone's truanting, then they leave the house with their backpack on and basically give their mum and dad the impression that they're going to school, but really they're going to the park and smoking and drinking, drinking Buckfast if you're in Scotland. Um, but yeah, we've got a weird name for it, which I think might raise a few eyebrows. So we used to call that dogging it, dog in school, which I know obviously has a much more sinister meaning, but that was what we called it. Not that I ever did that. It's completely refused. Doesn't do that. He just won't go. Okay. Let's see what the cards say. So, situation. Right, okay. Interesting card for the situation, given the question, Hen. I mean, there's definitely planning going on. There's definitely some sort of kind of casting, looking forward and looking into the future. And this kind of almost, trying to work out how the opposite things work and work together. Whether it's him doing that or whether it's you doing that, maybe this is you kind of looking. On the one hand, you could kind of go full on scary mum to him and just make it happen. But on the other hand, that's obviously not your only option. So maybe this is you kind of weighing up your options. But I mean, when I first saw it, what I wanted to say was, he might not be going to school, but maybe he's got other ideas for what he wants to do. Now, to be honest, no, in fact, we're not going to say, to be honest. See, I'm very careful. I don't want to kind of, I don't want to stray away from the cards and start giving my own opinion. I'll at least kind of read the cards first. So do this. We've got the King of Pentacles. Yeah, so the King of Pentacles is very much the boss, isn't he? He's very much in control of the situation, and he looks after the family's kind of best interests. Best interests when it comes to the future and stability, the financial situation. So for the do this card, we've got, really kind of grab the bull by the horns and maybe think about ways that you can take control of the situation. And for don't do this, get the Hanged Man. Okay. So it's almost like saying don't take a different perspective. And the Hanged Man tries to see it from the other point of view. What I want to say is just don't, there's nothing wrong with putting yourself in his shoes and try to see it from his point of view. But I think sometimes when we do that, we find our point of view getting a bit warped, don't we? Like when you look at something when you zoom in on something too much and you look at something too closely, if you kind of, it's almost like saying if you're almost too empathetic or sympathetic to that point of view, you can find your views changing. Sometimes you lose sight of what you're actually trying to achieve here. By all means, empathize and try and see it from his point of view, but just remember at the end of the day that you're the parent, that you've got an objective here. It's not just to kind of, it's like I always say with the Empress, right? When I talk about the Empress, and sometimes to a degree about the Queen of Pentacles as well, it's like the role of that person, it's not just to kind of water the plants and kind of feed them. It's not just to kind of nourish something and make it grow and concentrate on the positives. There's also the negative aspects as well. There's the discipline. There's the cutting the bad bits off the plant in order that it can flourish in the best way possible. And that's what I want to kind of, that's the kind of idea that I'm getting at here. It is important that that we have a close bond and that we can be friends with our kids. I mean, I was listening to the radio this morning, and it was like kind of one of these parenting things, and I don't know if any of you know the band Spandau Ballet, but the guy, Mark Kemp, him and his wife Shirley were on, and the DJ is their son, Roman. And, Roman and, as I understand it, Roman and his sister are two lovely, kind of well brought up kids, doing really well for themselves. So a lot of people are really kind of interested in, Mark and Shirley, how they, what's their advice, how did they do it, that kind of thing. And he does kind of talk about, the importance of mutual respect. So it's not just about kind of putting yourself in that boss position and being like, this is what you're doing because I've said so, and just because I've said so. There is, to a degree, this kind of idea of mutual respect and this back and forth. But I think at the same time, we do have to remember that when you're that young, when you're 15, you're not always looking at the end game. You're not always looking at the bigger picture. And sometimes we almost have to kind of take that perspective for them. Sometimes we have to we have to do that for them, as much as it can be painful and as much as it can cause absolute riot. Sometimes that's where we find ourselves. So, yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. I'm interested to know what they add up to, by the way. So 14, 16, 17, 14, 15, 16, 18, 28, 2 and 8 is 10. Wheel of Fortune changes. So if things are difficult right now, they're not always going to be in. The Wheel of Fortune, the message of it is, we take the good with the bad. Sometimes we just find ourselves at the bottom of the wheel, but it's never long until we're back up the top. So I know that, it can be difficult with kids. Sometimes when we have a fallout, it feels as though that, that's them. They're never going to talk to us again. More often than not, that's not the case though. And, you do find yourself at the top of that wheel again. And then Magician, if we reduce it down further, we get the Magician. You've got everything. You've got all of the tools that you need. And the Magician's a very active energy, so it's time to use those tools rather than maybe taking a step back and just kind of this High Priestess that associated with 2. So maybe what that's saying actually is at the moment you're maybe not taking as much action. You're maybe kind of waiting to see, kind of taking a more High Priestess approach. When if we look at the kind of overall energy, we're down to the Magician at the very kind of base, the soul of it. So time to get hands dirty, I think. So you've said he's not a kid that you can tell and scream at. He'd just pack his bags and leave. So that must be quite difficult. And I suppose it's trying to get the balance between, keeping him safe but not letting him have that power, because if you're saying, right, well, okay, I'll just let him not go to school, because he might pack his bags, then that's power over you. Do you know what I mean? So it's all a balancing act, and I mean, I think this is where I stop, because I'm not a parent, and I don't think I'm the kind of person who should be giving parenting advice to anyone. Hopefully, the kind of messages in the cards have meant something to you, Hen. I hope that they've helped in some way. Yeah, it's a tough situation. So someone here said 6'3", 15. That's the height that I am. I'm 6'3". So gosh, I can only imagine what height he's going to be when he's when he stops growing. Jackie, you had a wee question for you, lovely. For me, didn't you, lovely? So I'm just trying to see if there's any kind of important comments. Jade's popped in. Taro your truth. Aye, there's Jade. Hi Jade. I'm sorry, I didn't see you pop in, lovely. It's nice to see you here. Right. Right, I don't see any kind of anything orange, so I've got Jackie, and then it looks as though I've got a question from Word Girl as well. So was it just a general yes first? Yeah, general reading. So we'll do the same again. We'll do the strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities, Jackie, and we'll see what comes up. Time are we on 22:41? Gosh. So strengths. Weaknesses. Okay, I like that opportunities card. You're getting a chance to really shine, Jackie. That's coming up for you. But let's just start off with the strengths. So, stability in the kind of material world, keeping your feet on the ground, keeping yourself grounded, um, maintaining that kind of safety. Um, that's what you've got as a strength. So you're good at kind of keeping your world secure, keeping yourself grounded and down to earth and all that kind of thing. Um, you're probably quite good at, um, keeping an eye on your pennies. If this is anything to go by, Jackie. I know a lot of us don't feel that we are, because and when Simon does save or spend, has anyone noticed that I'm pretty sure that everyone has always said spend. Don't think I've ever seen anyone say save. Um, so I think we do tend to kind of have a bit of a negative impression of ourselves when it comes to that. But really, at the end of the day, it's about are you able to kind of look after yourself, and are you able to kind of keep yourself, have you got what you need? You know, um, and that's what I see there. To me, that would suggest that you're quite good at that, Jackie. Um, for the Six of Wands as a weakness, celebrating your own victories. So you need to celebrate yourself more. And I know that feels vain and big-headed. Um, at least to yourself, though. You need to give yourself the credit that you deserve. Um, Again, I've just kind of been showering Elle with compliments, and I'm going to do the same thing again to you, Jackie. You're such an amazing member of this community, and I think we can all agree on that. Um, if anyone deserves to kind of treat themselves and to be happy for their achievements, and it's you. Um, because with this Six of Wands, it's not just about victory and like lording yourself over people. That's not what it is. Yeah, the person is being celebrated by the crowd, but that's a two-way process. Through their achievements. Think about like a football match, and imagine being at a football match, or just think of the fans at some sort of football or sporting match. Think about how energized they are and how much they get out of watching that game. Um, that's what they're getting from him, and then vice versa. That cheering and that celebration, that really spurs those footballers on to be the best person that they can be. Um, and you know, equally for him. So he's getting as much out of the crowd as what the crowd is getting out of him, and that's an important two-way process. So it's not all about it's not an arrogant thing. It is important that we celebrate our achievements, and it's important that we let other people kind of compliment us and celebrate us in that way. It's just as important for them as it is for us. So yeah, and the Queen of Wands here we have for opportunities. Now, the Queen of Wands is, you know, to me, the Queen of Wands is the person who just takes the advice that I've given them. The Queen of Wands is quite happy about being in the limelight. She's quite happy about, she's in the gosh, what's it called again? the Raven's Prophecy tarot, the Queen of Wands is just a set of lips with fire coming out of them. And that's the Queen of Wands, you know, when she speaks, everyone listens. Everyone is so inspired by every word that comes out of her mouth. Rachel Pollock's my Queen of Wands. Rachel Pollock could sit and talk to me for an hour about paint drying, and I would be like gripped on every single word. That's Queen of Wands energy. Everyone listens to the Queen of Wands. Everyone's interested in what they're doing. She's like the celebrity of the tarot world, you know. And you've got an opportunity to really step up and do that. I wonder if you're going to make a wee YouTube channel, Jackie. How amazing would that be, guys? Let's all pressure Jackie in the same way that everybody pressured me. So yeah, there's an opportunity to really kind of step into that energy, Jackie, and really kind of embody it and you know, be the star. And then let's do the usual. So we've got 13 and 6 is 19, 23. 13 and 6 is 19, 22, 22, 23. So we put them together, we get 5, which is the Hierophant. So working with the community. The Hierophant, the number 5, has a negative association. I think basically because, you know, the Hierophant is encouraging us to think big, you know. When we are, you know, when we've just learned how to, I'm going to use a piano analogy, when we've just learned how to play the piece with our right hand, the Hierophant is that pain in the ass piano tutor that comes in and says, right, okay, let's add in the left hand now, you know. He's the one, you know, so as far as the Fool's Journey is concerned, when he's going through like the Empress and the Emperor, you know, he's basically learning, you know, how to be part of the material world. But the Hierophant is the one who says, you know, up there, there's something greater. We need to have faith, you know. That's the kind of that is the kind of instability that the 5s bring. It's that kind of changing the goalposts on you. It's a change of objective. So there's change overcasting the reading, Jackie, but it's change that if you can learn to celebrate yourself and to be celebrated and put yourself in the limelight, you're really going to be able to kind of feed off that energy and be the amazing person that you are. So there we go. Lots of fire energy in this, isn't there? Okay. Mendy says in the Bezin song, he's a naked dancing Jupiter. Nothing negative about that. That's why it's my favourite deck. Yeah. So again, like I've been really having a real think because me and Justin's been kind of facilitating these weekly Marseille kind of get-togethers on Zoom, and he posts about them in the Barely Balanced Divination Den Facebook page. If you think Chris would be okay with it, Justin, then you can post a wee link to that to the den here. But yeah, we've been kind of getting together and talking all things Marseille essentially, and I've been really kind of pondering like Juno and Jupiter versus High Priestess and High Priest, and yeah, it's something that so it's like the idea of like kind of, you know how you'll have heard the story of the Garden of Eden and Adam and Eve, and the snake tempts Eve to eat the apple. Eve eats it and makes Adam eat it, and then it's like their eyes are opened, and all of a sudden they're like, "Holy shit, we're naked! Let's get some clothes on." And it's when God comes into the Garden of Eden and he says, what are you doing wearing them? And they're like, "We're naked." And he's like, "You ate that apple, didn't you?" It's almost like the reverse of that. So it's like the Emperor and the Empress. It's like we're kind of learning how to be in the kind of everyday material world where we're very much expected to, you know, cover up all the necessary bits. But Jupiter, it's like it's like throws all of that out the window. Do you know what I mean? It throws those social kind of normative ideas out the window. He's dancing with not but a red ribbon covering up his bits, you know? So it's that, to me, that's how I'm kind of associating the two together. It's still that idea of kind of taking something and you make it, making something greater or looking beyond, but like you say, it is just a completely different a different way of looking at it. Besançon. So yeah, that's so sorry, Jackie, that was your reading. So hopefully that kind of resonated and made sense. I look forward to seeing you on the Tarot Tubes at some point in the future. No, I'm only joking. So yeah, let me know what you think. What deck is this? Is it this one you're asking about, Jen? Or is it the Besançon? I think Besançon is just the type of Marseille that has Juno and Jupiter, isn't it? The one Chris is using. So it's I'm calling it the Mibramig. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. The Mibramig Magical Tarot. It's a deck by Los Scarabeo. And yeah, it's quite an unusual deck, but it's Rider-Waite-Smith. And it has an extra card called the Happy Squirrel. So yeah, Justin's posted a link to the Barely Balanced divination then. So Chris Yao from Barely Balanced Tarot kind of runs this. And yeah, it's just just post different things on it, don't we? I usually post a wee notice about any lives that I'm doing on it. Did I do that today? I think I did. Right, I think I've got another question, and it's from Simon says, I wonder what you'll say. I take it that's about save or spend. Oh, just need to wait and find out. I wonder what I'm going to say about the toilet roll, Simon. What do you think? Jane, I'm glad that was meaningful for you. Word girl. So you've asked, how does Usman feel about me? Oops. Oh, for goodness sake, we've got cards jumping out left, right, and centre, aren't they? Okay. I had the Three of Pentacles jump out, and I had the Nine of Cups jump out. Oh, it's terrible. Was it Word Girl? What was that? Word Girl. I'm sorry, Word Girl. I'd momentarily forgot your Simon says he's not going to ask me. I'd forgotten your name there. So Word Girl, I had the Three of Pentacles jump out and I had the Nine of Cups, and it jumped out in a reverse position. I don't normally tend to read reverse meanings. So what I want to ask right away is is this someone that you know from work? Or is this someone that you know in a more perhaps professional way? The Nine of Cups, it can be a desire card. It can also be a community card. It's not a negative card in itself. It is a pretty positive card, to be honest. And when you reverse it, you don't take that much away from the positive message of it. The only thing is that you can find yourself kind of blocked in that energy, I feel. So sometimes when a nine is reversed, for me, it just means you've finished something, but you're not moving on from it. You're almost keeping yourself locked in that, that completion stage. You've kind of taken the final actions, but the next step is to go on to the 10, where we find ourselves kind of being able to reflect a bit on everything, the journey that we've been on, and to kind of the cycle. That's where the cycle renews. So what that tells me is that it may well be that maybe this is someone who you've previously been in a relationship with, or maybe you've tried it, or maybe maybe you've approached the subject before and it's not really, it's not went the way you've wanted it, but instead of moving on, you're keeping yourself locked in that position, and we kind of need to kind of the reason that we talk about moving on, talk about it all gung ho, it's not just because it's the next natural step, but it's also because that's how we open ourselves up to, you know, to the person who is actually going to be right for us. You know, if you're still kind of stuck in limbo on some other situation, you're not going to be open to new opportunities that are coming your way. So I'm sorry, those were just jumpers that I read. Now let's pull some cards for you. So let's look at the situation, let's see what advice we've got, and let's see what the outcome is. Okay, so the situation, the world. Yeah, see, we find ourselves at the end of a process and we need to move on to the start of something new. Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong here. It may well be that the new thing to move on to is this person that you're interested in. It is Usman. But it's just my kind of gut instinct because of the cards that jumped. It's telling me again that you might be blocking yourself into a situation that you're not moving on from. The advice, swift movement, and decisions need to be made. We need to move in a certain direction. That fire, we need to light that fire, really light a fire under your butt, and can you get moving? It's certainly not a card where you're standing still and you're keeping yourself locked in a certain situation. This is a card where you're moving on and you're moving on to new heights that you never thought you could ever reach. So it's really quite a positive card because even though, obviously I can tell by the question that, that this is obviously something that you desire, that you want, that Usman is someone you've got your eye on. But if you do make that decision to let the cycle renew and to almost find yourself moving on, there is promise in it for you in that Eight of Wands. Because, like I say, it's a card about having strong foundations, yeah, but those strong foundations give way to real movement. And like I say, it's movement in a way that you never thought possible before, that you never really, it wasn't in your immediate plan. It's when things really start taking on a life of their own. And the outcome, interesting. So we've got the Nine of Wands. So it's the next natural step. So again, we're looking at, before we even read the card meaning, we're talking about, taking the next natural step. We're talking about taking the next step, about moving on to the next the next card. With the Nine of Wands, we do it has positives and negatives with it. Again, when one of the cards that jumped out was a 9, and I was talking to you about how 9s, they are like taking the final actions in a situation. It's like almost finishing it off. Sometimes with the Nine of Wands, we feel so battle worn. We feel as though it almost feels like we've been through a war. Quite often, and yeah, as you can see here, he's kind of got a bandage on his head, so he feels as though he's been through the mill. So that's maybe how you're feeling a bit. It's maybe been a bit of a long process and pursuing this person. But the key for you, I'm definitely seeing, is to let that cycle renew, move on. It may well be that sometimes when we don't come across as keen, as keen, and when we're not that enthusiastic, we all of a sudden become more attractive to the person that we've got our eye on. Because sometimes if things are a bit too intense, and we've got some quite high fire energy in these cards, so I'm seeing a lot of intensity. Sometimes when things are a bit too intense, it can be a bit off-putting. So I think it's about letting things happen naturally. Don't stop yourself from moving on and experiencing new things. And you never know, maybe when you finally you kind of let go of that situation, you'll find that things fall into place just the way you wanted them to. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing in these cards, Word Girl. I know that that's it may well not be the answer that you were hoping to hear. But that's the way that I've read the cards for you. Hopefully that was meaningful for you. And you can let me know. You can give me some feedback. To let me know. Obviously, like when we read these cards, this is basically to give you ideas about how to go about, making decisions. That they're never going to tell you. I would never advise you kind of basically let them dictate your life. But it's basically just to open your mind up to new possibilities and give you a different perspective. Okay. So we're coming to that. We've just hit 2 hours, guys. We're coming to that time where I would normally kind of love yous and leave yous and call it a night. Now, I see Simon's off to bed. Glad you've had fun, Simon, and I hope you sleep well and have a good Friday. Zane's really liking the deck. I'm glad you like it, Zane. Do you know, it's actually growing on me as well. That is a really nice deck, isn't it? Who knew? It's resonated, right? Well, that's good. At least I'm glad that it resonated with you, Word Girl. I got that deck recently. I got that deck and I actually do like it. I really like the Linen cardstock, but then I don't know as much about Tarot de Marseille line work and stuff yet, so I don't know what I don't know. I'm not sure. Are you talking about this deck, the Mybramic, or are we talking about something else? Justin just got his Dali. My neighbour handed me the package and told me he was going to buy stick on Amazon because of me. I'm embarrassed. Or stock. Kestrel. Oh, thank you so much, V Kestrel. That's really nice of you to say. I love reading these cards. It's my passion, so it is. I don't have a massive collection. I think I'm nearing around 50. Oh, you're talking about the Besançon. Okay, cool. But my real passion is for kind of reading them and for doing this, exactly this, what we're doing right now, getting to interact with you guys, and both on us, just because I like talking to you, because you're all really nice people, and being able to kind of pull some cards for you and pretend that I'm clever. Right, I think that's us then, guys. I don't think I've missed any questions. I would imagine you would have been shouting at me if I had. So I shall love you and leave you. I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your day or night, depending on what time of day it is where you are. For anyone in the UK or the US, tomorrow's Friday. So TFIF. I hope everybody has an amazing day and amazing weekend. I know that obviously our US family are going through a lot right now. So just stay strong, guys. I don't even know what, it's one of these things there's nothing that any of us can do to, let me just change me around here. We would all love some to be able to wave a wand and make the situation better, but I think all any of us can do is really be there for all of our friends in the US and, be an ear to listen shoulder to cry on. So if anyone needs to talk about anything, get anything off their chest. Of course, if anyone thinks a wee reading would be beneficial, then please do reach out. I'm here for anyone. But yeah, I'll stop blabbing on. Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend, and I will catch you on Saturday when I'm on with Simon on the Hermit's Cave. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.